movies in class. Yay or nah?
Whoa.
That's what we're talking about today. So, Jake, what is your relationship with showing movies in class?
Okay, before I answer that question, Ruben, there's an image in my head of a teacher. I hate to say this. It was a special ed teacher who was moving back in the day when they had TVs and VCRs, and he was moving it from one class to another. And I go, "What are you doing?" So, this is a special ed substitute teacher, And I thought, I kind of laughed a second, and I thought, man, that's not good. And I think that goes with how I feel, Ruben, is that it's not does not replace teaching, and I think you and I would agree with that. But is there a place for film in class? Oh yeah, you and I love film, and we had David Dorff on recently, and he shared about how he has these little snippets on YouTube, and man, that goes a long way. If you're presenting a piece and you're able to show a little image or 2 to 5, 6 minutes, that's great. And so I think more of that, the better. I think even if you do that every class period, that's great. To show a whole film, for me, again, I think I've shared before, I always look at it in minutes, and I hate to lose minutes. And so if I'm showing a whole film, it's usually very rare. It has to be special occasions. There has to be a real.
So, when was the last time you showed a film?
Ooh.
How rare is it?
Very rare. I can't, and I'll
So
be
when
honest
was
with
the
you,
last time?
I'm not even sure if I've shown one this year,
Okay.
but I've shown pieces of like YouTube videos. Yeah.
So, I will say this: I do show films. Having not shown films for years, very much at all, now I do. However, I've trained my students to not ask the question, "Are we watching the film today?" I've trained them to ask the better, more quality question of, "Are we analyzing the adaptation today?" Because I don't show films, I show adaptations. I've shown them the adaptation to 12 Angry Men. I've shown them the adaptation to not Streetcar, but Death of a Salesman, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Okay. So then the adaptation, on one hand, supports the reading. They
Sure.
see it. And remember, they all have captions. So they're reading. And I have an air conditioner blowing, and so it's hard to hear. So they have to read to see what's going on. It's pretty cool. Even then, it's not enough. An admin can come in and say, "Well, that's still not enough." I get it. I have started this unit on film analysis. And what I do is I've taught them certain devices, the major ones. What devices in terms of cinema, cinematography, acting, writing, sound elements, and costume design. I define each of them, and they look at the definitions, and they have it in their folder, and they see the definitions and the terms. Then I teach them, I show them a scene before we even do anything else, and they practice picking out 2 of the elements from the scene, and they write 2 of them. So for example, I showed them the first 5 minutes of Rear Window, and then I asked them, "What 2 elements do you see?" Now, a lot of our students couldn't pick out sound elements right away or costume design. What really grabs their attention is the acting and the special effects, which is cinematography. It's under that umbrella. And so now I've showed them Clockwork Orange, not the whole film, 5 minutes, 5 minutes of Rear Window, 5 minutes, first 5 minutes of Apocalypse Now. And I asked them, pick 2 devices out of the 5 that you notice in the first 5 minutes of Apocalypse Now. And most of the students, 80%, mentioned cinematography and sound elements. Very few mentioned the acting of Martin Sheen, which would be something that they probably noticed, or even the writing. They might writing and acting, and I explained the difference, because there is a difference between the acting and the writing. Even though that sounds obvious to you and me, sometimes they confuse the 2. But now when I show them a movie, they pick up on other things and they start to appreciate cinema. They start to appreciate elements that are not direct, like direct writing and acting. They're seeing other things. I show them 5 minutes of Aguirre Wrath of God, which is in another language, just has subtitles. And I asked them, what do you notice? And they said cinematography and sound. And half the class raised their hand that they liked it when I asked them, do you like this? And half the class raised their hand.
Oh, that's great.
I believe that we have an opportunity. They are so into film that something has triggered in me an opportunity. I tried to do it only one day a week. I show them adaptations of the book we're reading. And I use that time to pull students who failed the quiz, and my paraprofessional will work with that kid while everyone else is watching the movie. And once they're finished, they can come back in and watch it.
Wow.
So that's what we do.
That's great. Very, but you know what? That's good. I think an administrator would like that. You have a plan. This is what I'm doing. These are the questions I'm asking. This is what I like to see them look at and pull out. Sometimes they surprise you. They pull out some other things. That's fine. And then because I think any administrator would be okay with that. And because you have a purpose. And so as long as you have a purpose, you're not just wasting time, wasting minutes.
We're not babysitting.
We're not babysitting.
Movie, and when I get my paperwork done, or have a throwaway, and I'm not showing them Goodfellas.
Right, which is a great film though. But that's cool.
All right, very cool. Who started this video, you or me?
I think you did.
Then let me end it. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to subscribe. All right.